evening and welcome. It's not the White House Correspondents' Dinner coming at you live right here on the Political Voices Network. I'm Tara Dublin from The Tara Show, and it is my honor to be your host as we ramp up for the big event happening at the top of the hour. Coming up in this pre-show, you're going to hear from Hal Sparks, from our good buddy Brian Karem, and our intrepid host John Fugelsang. The show itself is going to be jam-packed with the kind of political comedy you have come to expect from the Political Voices Network. And we aren't just keeping it to just the people that you know and love. We were expanding this universe, bringing in more humor, more power, more joy, more comedy, and we're definitely going to be the proper DEI, not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Joining us coming up at 9 o'clock, along with John and Hal and Frangela and Stephanie Miller. You'll see the likes of, Jojo from Jerz, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, the liberal redneck Trae Crowder, Glenn Kirschner. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Our special friend Elayne Boosler will be here. Make sure you are good and set and comfortable. Perhaps you have a beverage handy. Perhaps you have a snack. I'm not really sure what they're serving over at the proper White House Correspondents' Dinner. Perhaps it's an empty plate now that our food and milk supplies are no longer being, checked out by the FDA. I have no idea, but what I do know is that the real action is right here on the Political Voices Network, and there's no reason to make you keep waiting for the glory that's ahead. We're going to bring in our first guest. He's my buddy. He's a joy. He's our pal. He's the hardest working man in show business. Not only is he here on the Political Voices Network, but he fronts the world's coolest cover band, Nerd Halen. Let's bring him in. It's our pal, Hal Sparks. How's it going, Hal?
Yes. It's going fantastic, and I want to start by saying happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tara Dublin, who is awesome and also rocks and has a great book that everybody should buy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. I thought it was really nice of the White House Correspondents Association to create this event for us for my birthday tonight, and then they pulled back. And they got rid of the delightful Amber Ruffin. And so when you're faced with an unfunny White House Correspondents' Dinner, what else is there to do but offer some counter programming where it will be funny? It will
Comedy
be funny
takeover.
That's what comedy takeover.
Yeah. I will say that there is a very strong chance, and I'm judging by what I know about perhaps what Steph has planned for this evening, that this will be a bit saucier, bit sexy liberally
Saucier.
More than previous White House Correspondents' Dinner, as we are not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So we are free to be very adult in these very adult times, because I have to say, one of the most difficult things about joking in the modern political era is you can't fall back on Mort Saul language. It's we're getting into very late stage Carlin territory as far as
I think that's true.
Yeah,
I think that's true. When you have Nancy Mace telling a constituent to go fuck themselves in Ulta, I think the playing field is now leveled. Go right ahead.
Yeah, multiple times. Now, we don't know. Maybe she feels that way about everyone else who shops at Ulta. Maybe she's just Karening. You know what I mean? Where the rest of the world doesn't exist, and she's just kind of that way. That's the only thing we've seen on tape, because I refuse to believe that she was only like that to a constituent or a random stranger in a shopping circumstance of any sort. I refuse to believe that this is a one-off. My guess is,
no, of course not.
That's a slice of life. That's like a little Sam Shepard play she was putting on it. Like, it doesn't really resolve, but it's always like this.
She's Ulta MAGA now.
Absolutely. Nancy Mace, who her maiden name is Hammer, and of course if she ever had to change it to Battle Axe, would hyphen it.
Oh my goodness! I've been calling her the Hozempic. Hozempic, please. Hozempic, please.
Sure,
Hozempic.
You're getting very dangerously close to, I guess, the overlap territory with tonight's show, because I will say, one of the challenges that always happens in political comedy specifically is that you are dealing with topics that are in the news, hot off the presses, right up to showtime, and everybody is going, we've had to do this on Sexy Liberal where we're like writing up to the moment and then throw everything out because the storyline for the next 5 days is not going to be the storyline for the last 24 hours. It's a whole new ballgame, right? And then we're all in this danger of like overlapping on everybody else's stuff. And we're having to second guess the brilliant minds of Frangela Duo and John Fugelsang and myself.
I mean, the deepness of the bench, right? How lucky are we?
And then we've got Jojo and we've got Bob and we've got Trae. And
I mean, DC will be in shambles by the end of the night because they will not be able to stand the heat coming from not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. What do you think it's going to be like over there at the other place? Do you think it's just going to be like Mike Pillow and the Newsmax guy standing in a corner with an empty Happy Meal because of the tariffs from China? There's not even a prize in the Happy Meal anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, his patented stuffing is not made in America, I would like to say, even though he has it, he gets stuffed in America. Let's not kid ourselves that his patented polystyrene, petrochemical, ear-burning stuffing that he shoves into that stuff isn't cranked out in a Uyghur concentration camp on the weekends. But honestly, I feel like they're going to try and outdull themselves. That the goal will be to like. Because and I think it's fascinating that we are in a situation where for the second time it's the same dude. We have a president who can't take a joke. That is if he has a single defining characteristic besides a full diaper and a big stench, it is his absolute lack of a sense of humor.
Very true.
Biden was a good sport. And his were probably the harshest jokes I've ever heard while he was president about his age and being infirm. But Trump himself, like, can't take anything. This whole presidency, you could say, is a grudge against Seth Meyers and the jokes that Seth made
for sure
back in the day.
Absolutely.
Right? I will say, credit to everyone tonight that as serious as these issues are, we are finding a way to laugh in the face of Mephistopheles himself.
Well, you have to, right?
As Cat Williams would always say, let me show you what gives me the power to laugh in Satan's motherfucking face. And that's kind of how I feel, right?
Well, it's like, it's like Frangela said back in November on the last real Saturday night that we ever had. They are not going to steal our joy. They are not going to take our power. They're not going to steal our joy. They can't take away our humor. And they are definitely not going to have a better turnout than we are because their White House Correspondents' Dinner, I'm imagining it's going to be like 7 people sitting in a room going, well, what do we do now? What are we doing here?
Oh, it's going to, I mean, I think.
Meanwhile, we're going to be killing it. We're killing it all night tonight. And it's going to be one bit of hilarity after the other. And that's what MAGA hates. They hate our joy. And they want us to be as miserable as they are. And we refuse. We refuse here at the Political Voices Network. Us sexy liberals never give in to that kind of stuff. We just get sexier. No.
I'm very excited because none of us know what the others are doing. So I'm very excited to watch the show myself. Like it's
a comedy cavalcade.
That's right. So
I love it. I love it. And
so
I love, you know what, Hal? We are so lucky to have you. I feel very, very grateful to be part of this universe. But you were my first entree. You were my on-ramp. You're my enabler and my biggest supporter, and I appreciate you so much. Hal Sparks, everybody. Make sure you check out Infotainment Wars all over the YouTube. I mean, how many shows do you do a week? 400,000? 400. It's 400,000 shows you do.
No,
every week.
I only do
never sleep,
9.
never stops. Only
9 shows of 2 hours plus a day. Yeah.
He rests on the 7th day, just like the Lord.
I do. That's right. I do take the Lord's day off, and to basically.
While you're taking his name in vain. All right. That's fine. Hey, everybody, make sure you stick. That's right. Stick around for the White House, not the White House Correspondents' Dinner coming up at the top of the hour. Hal Sparks, you are a gift, not just to comedy, but to humanity.
I try. All right. I got to go. I've got comedy to do.
Go do comedy.
Hey y'all, it's Trae here, coming to you in my finest suit for a reason. I'm letting you know that this Saturday, April 26th, I'm excited to be joining a host of incredible comedians for an online pay-per-view special called Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's our take on what it might have been like if we were allowed to do one this year, all right? So that's what we're giving to you this Saturday, online only. Check it out, $20.26, link in the description. You ain't gonna believe this lineup of great comics. It's gonna be a good show.
Oh man, Hal Sparks. How lucky are we? And that's just the first guest we've got. Don't move. Do not move, because coming up right now, you know him. You love him. He's one cool cat. If we ever did a That Thing You Do sketch with members of the Political Voices Network, he would play the drummer Shades. It's Brian Karem. Hey, welcome in, Brian Karem. Look at you. The coolest shades. Always the coolest shades on you. How's it going?
Pretty good, Tara. How you doing?
I'm great. I am super excited and very, very happy that you've joined the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We're just so lucky here in the Political Voices Network universe to have not just a deep bench of talent here, but an extended universe of political comedy geniuses who know exactly what's going on and know exactly what we're talking about. And it's perfect timing because you just recently wrote a Substack about Trump turning the White House into a literal joke. And that's why we're here at the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, because you know they're not going to be laughing at anything across town.
No, Saturday night's
tell
all
us
right
why
for
he's
fighting.
the biggest joke. That's
Yeah,
right.
he
All
is
right,
the
all
biggest
right,
joke.
all right. Him and his flagpoles overcompensating.
Yes, he just wants something, as I said, patriotic to sit on. Anyway, hey now, tough room.
Hey now, ho, hey, ho, ho.
Well, all I can tell you is my old lady's drunker and a barrel full of monkeys, and my old lady, she don't care. It is Saturday night, and it is all right for fighting because look, there's nothing left in the White House Correspondents Association dinner worth attending anymore. I will donate money to the cause because that is for students and for them to go to school. So I'm all good with that, but the idea of showing up there and pretending like I have any respect for either 90% of my colleagues or the moron that's in office, just can't do it. I'm past that.
Seriously, who do you think is actually going to be over there in the room? They have no reason to attend because Amber Ruffin's not going to make them laugh. And they're either going to get an empty plate of food now that we have nobody regulating our food or milk supply. Or, I was thinking maybe a Happy Meal from McDonald's with no toy, since the tariffs.
He's done that already.
From China.
He's done that already. Trump did that when he brought Clemson into the White House in his first administration to celebrate them winning the national championship.
That's
he served
right.
up he served up
the hamburgers.
And one of the kids said, Jesus, he's so cheap he won't even get the 10-piece McNuggets. It's the 6-piece. So
maybe you think they'll have like a drive-through lane over at the hotel, and that people won't even have to get out of their cars to enjoy their version of the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Because
yes, and they'll give away free Teslas because they're cheaper than the Easter eggs these days, which they gave away on the White House lawn. I don't know. I tell you, you look at what's going on and you wonder if we're ever going to wake up to the fact that we've been screwed, blued, and tattooed. And I don't think we will. We're too busy playing access journalists, and Donald Trump will never wake up. He's as his niece said, Mary Trump. She told me, she goes, "There's no worst with Donald. There's just every day is worse." So I think he's mentally deficient, decrepit, a grifter, a moron, a gambler. He doesn't care.
But he's
as long as you're talking about him.
But Trump 2028, Brian. I mean, Eric Trump is
Woo-hoo!
sharing the new merch is already out, and while we're here, yeah, no, I know it's super exciting. You better get in on it before the cult.
Well, he sends me emails every day. I'm in the White House mail list, so every day I'm getting emails from his group telling me, "Hey, here's a new hat you can buy." And it's called this one's Gulf of America. It's in red and white. Here's another one you can buy. It's white and gold. Oh, here's another one you can buy. It's black and gold. Oh, you're a special member. I want you to be my special troop. Just donate $20 to the cause. And I've been asking, what the hell's he want the money for? Well, it's obvious he's still running. Well, actually, it's not even that he's running for office. Is that Donald Trump is making a buck off the morons of the United States who will still support him. And I'd say laugh or
Right.
cry. We'll be here all week. Try the veal, but don't try the veal because Bobby Kennedy Jr. is in charge of that, and it'll
That's
probably
right.
have trichinosis.
Caroline, the Heritage Ho. Thank you so much. Don't you think maybe we need our own Democratic press secretary to go out there every single day to tell the world the truth that we're never going to hear from inside the Mike Lindell cryptocurrency press briefing room these days?
I would recommend that the Democrats take up as much oxygen in the room as they can, because if they don't, Donald Trump will. So if you're going to
That's right.
hold a daily press briefing, someone will attend it. Maybe small numbers at first, but larger numbers as you answer. You're not going to be able to answer questions about what the president is doing, but you can counter program this moron and this lunacy. But the Democrats are
right.
really bad at communicating. I mean, there are people that still think that the $1 trillion infrastructure bill, which was historic and it was bipartisan, there are people in this country who think there are only 6 EV units in California that was gotten from that thing. And if you've gone over this country, like I have, there's construction in every state. It's the reason why we didn't go into a recession at the end of COVID. And by God, somebody should be spouting that every day instead of telling me how, DEI is destroying the world. Come on, give me,
Right.
or I'm going to lock up immigrants with the last name of Sanchez. Anybody line up? If your last name it sounds foreign to me, I'm sending you to get, not even a Gitmo anymore. It's El Salvador, not even El Salvador. Now it's Rwanda. He's going to turn one of these small countries into a supermax, like Escape from New York, and I'm going to be looking for my Snake Plissken to break out of the place, because I'm sure
I mean,
you and me and a few others are on the list to go.
I think we're probably at the top of the list because we're such agitators. I don't know if you saw, but Pam Bondi said that if anybody says fuck Trump, that guarantees you 15 years in a prison in El Salvador. And they can't deport 100 million of us, right? Right. Fuck Trump and fuck him twice and sideways.
He said, I can't afford trials for all these people. The hell with due process. That's it.
Sure. Sure. We don't need due process, and we definitely don't need screening for our food and milk supply. Everybody dies equally. Hooray. America is great again, Brian. That's something to celebrate tonight at the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, along with my birthday. It is my birthday. Okay,
Happy
great.
birthday, Tara. What are you, 29?
Thank you. I am 29 again and again and again. And if this is my last birthday, we're going to go out on a high note here at the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
How high are you?
Well, on my last birthday, maybe on the outside. I'm not really sure. I think maybe they'll put me in the wing with the child labor, scofflaw people. And I don't know. If they're going to go for the Jews next, I mean, maybe if I can get a cell next to you, we'll be okay. What do you think? We got to be all in this together.
My roommate will probably be by the name of Ben Dover. So let's nice to meet you, Mr. Dover.
Well, just make sure you're the alpha male.
I'm a giver, not a receiver.
Brian, as we wrap up, tell the kids where they can find you on the daily.
You can find me at salon.com with a weekly column there. Substack, Reporter's Notebook at Brian Karem. The name of the book is called Free the Press, wherever fine books are sold. And celebrating our 7th year on the air with Just Ask the Question, our podcast. And that title comes from something that Helen Thomas gave me, advice she gave me on the first day I was at the White House. She said, Brian, it doesn't matter what the question is. It doesn't matter what the answer is. It doesn't matter if they answer it. Just ask the question.
Just ask the question. And I love that, because once you get the question out, other people might start asking the question also.
Well, she said they can't deny it's on the record. Once you ask it, they can't deny it's there.
That's right. So I'm going to ask you one last question. If you could ask Donald Trump one question today, because Jeffrey Goldberg is going to get to sit down with him. If you could ask Donald Trump one question today, what would it be?
That's the one I've been asking since he came back into office, that he still hasn't answered. Have you ever been wrong?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. He'll come up with an answer for that right when exactly the same day he introduces.
I've never been wrong. I'm always the best. I'm great.
And I'm still blocked by Trump on Twitter. Thank you very much. Brian Karem, we are so lucky to have you with us. Looking forward to what you're going to bring in just a little bit at the top of the hour, the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Thanks so much, Shades.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
That's why I'm going to run for president against Donald Trump in 2028. That's what's going to happen.
Hi, I hope you'll join me and more than 12 great comics, 9 o'clock Eastern this Saturday night, pay-per-view or stream on demand for the Not the White House Press Correspondents' Dinner. Great satirists have kept this country going for decades, and we need it more now than ever. So people are saying, where does the money go for pay-per-view? Are you supporting great Democratic causes? All of us do is give away money. My Tales of Joy Rescue has given away hundreds of thousands. This is $20. It took me over a week to write the bit for Saturday. Do you really mind if I make $20?
We've only got a few minutes left here in the pre-show, and he's probably getting ready to host the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but he's so kind. He's so generous. He's so able to just stop what he's doing and come here to talk to us. How lucky are we to bring in the master of all the ceremonies, John Fugelsang. I'm so happy to be on the air with you right now, John. It's just, as I said in my interview, you're like our fearless leader. You're the master of all of the ceremonies. And it's just, there aren't enough words in language to describe you because you're such a wordsmith yourself that I feel almost embarrassed to even be speaking out loud. So thank you so much for taking time out of your, I'm about to go on prep, because you're about to go on. And we're getting like a behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes with John Fugelsang, getting up close and personal. Are you super excited for tonight's Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
As much as my medication regimen will allow, Tara. Yes, I really am.
Awesome.
I'm very happy about this. It came together so quickly. I got a call that Hal Sparks and one of the guys from PVN were trying to do something, and they said, "Hey, can you help us out?" And the next thing I knew, I was producing it, and I didn't even know I was producing it until they told me. Yeah, just like yeah. But it came together so quick. And on the one hand, at first I was like, I feel like we're doing another pandemic show here, like getting a bunch of people to come together for an online pay-per-view. But the fact is, I didn't want people watching the White House Correspondents' Dinner this year. They fired Amber Ruffin. They got no business having our eyeballs. So we thought,
exactly.
What if we just what if we just ask a bunch of like, a really cool mix of comedians and pundits and broadcasters and social media influencers and activists. And it all came together so rapidly. But from people like, great comics like Alonzo Bodden, who does Wait, Don't Tell Me, Last Comic Standing. Chuck Nice is Neil deGrasse Tyson's sidekick. Elayne Boosler is one of the 10 greatest American comedians and hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner. TV's Frank, of course, Frank Coniff of Mystery Science Theater 3000 is here to offend everyone. And then there's people like Glenn Kirschner, who's like a real grown-up, and Allison Gill.
Knows stuff.
Super Allison smart. Gill of Mother, she wrote, and then like.
I mean, we're so, I said this earlier to Hal, we're so lucky that in the Political Voices Network universe, we already have such a deep bench. And then tonight, we're going to be enjoying comedy from people who are maybe outside, but are friends. And they've been on our shows and hung out with us, and they're here to bring the energy that there's not going to be over at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's going to be like 6 people in a room with Mike Pillow, right? I mean, who's left? Who's left to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner? And the running joke all evening has got to be, what are they serving? What are they serving at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Is it a Happy Meal without a toy because all of their toys are made in China? Or are they just going to get an empty plate now, John? Because now that the FDA is rolling back protections on food and milk, I mean, what could they possibly feast on besides their own besides our liberal tears? Maybe that's all they're serving.
Me how terrified I am because I have to still buy all these Trump Bibles, and now I don't know if China can sell them to me anymore. No. I'm curious if Trump's actually going to be there, but not so curious that I would tune in to watch.
No.
She's smart and she's funny and she tells the truth and she's black and she's a she. So there's 5 reasons why Donald Trump would be terrified, because there's 2 things he's afraid of: a strong woman and a strong wind. So for me,
absolutely. Well, it's our DEI version of the White House Correspondents' Dinner here at Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, because we have hit all levels of diversity with this amazing lineup all over there. It's going to be just like a bunch of white people going, "Hey, we're killing a lot of people. Good for us." I mean, what are they going to do?
I call, this whole White House is to me deviant, extremist, and inexperienced, or DEI.
Perfect.
That's how I call them. Yeah. I've been to this
Perfect.
event before, and I have mixed feelings about the event anyway. I've been there, and just seeing a president be all kissy face with the people who are supposed to objectively report on him or her, even when it's a
Hmm.
president I like and comedians I like, it's always been a bit dodgy. To me, the great thing about the show has not been this weird little relationship that shouldn't be so chummy. It's been what artists are going to do something interesting with the time they have. And a lot of
Right.
great comics have played it. I've helped write for some comics who've played it in years past and people I really
Hmm.
admire. And to me, it's always been about, the artistic creative exercise of playing to this room, a room full of people who are not a good audience. They're all eating and you're competing with clanking, you know,
Oh, that's always the
utensils on
worst.
porcelain. We've seen people bomb. Colbert's is legendary because he knew he was going
Right.
to bomb. He played it to bomb. You hear more knives hitting, cutlery hitting plates than laughs, and it's the greatest of all time. Like he knew exactly what he was going to do. This year, there's
Right.
no artist to watch. I mean,
No.
there's nothing. It's like the Kennedy Center, Scott Baio in To Kill a Mockingbird. No,
Oh
no. So
my God.
that's why I'm so proud to be a part of this because I just thought, we'll get a bunch of really cool people together. Nobody's going to go more than 5 minutes. Somehow we got Stephanie Miller to agree to come play with us, and
Oh, isn't that great?
I can't
We're
wait to
just so
see
lucky.
what people put up. Yeah,
It's going to be amazing. And considering what we've been living through just in these last 3 months, I mean, it's really fortunate we have so many smart like this is like the smart kid prom is what they used to call the White House correspondents. So as we wrap this up, because I know you're getting ready to put on your last minute makeup to get ready
yeah. My
to be our
spackling in my case.
master of ceremonies at the top of the hour. We're super excited to welcome you. If I want to ask you this one last question, if you could ask Donald Trump, because Jeffrey Goldberg is going to get to interview him, if you could ask Donald Trump one question today, what would it be?
Would it be on camera?
Let's assume it would be. Let's assume that you got that moment. You have a moment. You got into the press room because
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah.
as we've heard on the show already,
Yeah.
it's about Brian Karem said just ask the question because just asking
Yes.
the question is enough to make it part of the conversation. So if you had that moment, you had that opportunity to get yelled at by him in the Oval Office, what would you ask?
I've thought about this a lot, and I've had my answer ready for a while. I would ask him, "What are your children's birthdays?"
Ooh,
If I
that's a
got one
good one.
question and it could be on camera, I would ask, "What are your children's birthdays?"
That's fantastic. I love that. I might follow that up with can you
Because
name
they
all of your
deserve to know,
grandchildren?
Tara. His kids deserve to
Yes,
know. Yeah, and then
they
can you give me the names
do.
of your grandchildren? That'd be good too.
All of your grandchildren. I would posit he does not know all of the names of his
Just the
grandchildren.
first
He'll point.
names.
Hey,
Just the first name.
you want that one. Go get that one. Who's that? I
Exactly.
know he knows Kai because he brings her to the UFC, but I don't think he knows the names of his other grandchildren. I would put money on that. I might.
I would put money on some of those grandchildren legally changing those last names within our lifetimes.
Oh, just like Elon Musk's daughter who doesn't acknowledge him anymore.
Hmm.
Ah, oh, aren't we just so carefree and happy tonight? It has been such a great pleasure to get to speak with you, John.
Thank you,
Every time I
Tara.
encounter you, I get to learn things from you, and I can't wait for your book to come out because as
You're
somebody
so
who is
generous.
well, we just truly are so very, very lucky to be here together and to have all of this wonderful, good energy that's coming because all we can do is resist and fight back. And we are not helpless and we are not hopeless because we're here together. And that's why we're all here for the Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I hope and let all the kids, you're all over the place all the time. And you have a schedule like Hal does 100,000 shows a week. Tell the kids when this show is over where they can continue to seek you out
You're
and have you
so
in their
nice.
daily lives as
Thank
they
you.
should.
We're on every night, weeknights on SiriusXM Progress. If you don't have SiriusXM, our show's available as a free podcast every day now at Google and Stitcher and Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. So check that out. I'm at John Fugelsang at all the socials. I do a lot of different shows around the dial, TV and such, and you'll see me doing a big Unholy book tour all summer long.
Awesome.
And thank you for all
Great.
you do, Tara, and thank you for being part of
Thank
this
you.
tonight.
Dave, I mean, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be here. And honestly, I'd probably follow you anywhere, John.
Well, thank you. That's very dangerous, but I'll be sure
Have
to
a
ask you.
great show.
Maybe
I
I might have to ask you to hide a gun for me at some point, but I'll discuss it off the air. Okay.
I'm here for you. I'm just
Right on.
I'm Jewish. I've had friends here in Portland say with all sincerity, if you need a place to hide, we're here for you.
Yes.
So
Well, I'll be Gentile with you, Tara. I'll be Gentile.
Oh, I love that. I see, clever. They don't have. This is the comedy you're not going to get anywhere else. It's not the White House Correspondents' Dinner with our fearless leader and host John Fugelsang coming up at the top of the hour. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank everybody who's tuned in, everybody who is behind the scenes, particularly our intrepid producer here, Sean Rivera. Sean, I do not begrudge you your job, but I am so grateful that you do what you do. Everybody, thanks again for tuning in. And it's coming up right now. It's not the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Hey, I'm John Fugelsang, and this weekend is the political comedy pay-per-view event of the year, not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. A very special pay-per-view for Americans who aren't afraid of political comedy or facts. Over a dozen comics, pundits, and influencers giving very different mini White House Correspondents' addresses, including Hal Sparks, Elayne Boosler, Alonzo Bodden, Trae Crowder, the liberal redneck, Glenn Kirschner, Allison Gill of Mueller, She Wrote, Frangela, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, Chuck Nice of Star Talk, Dean Obeidallah, Jojo from Jerz, and Frank Coniff of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Just added Miss Stephanie Miller. Catch Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner live Saturday, April 26th, instead of that other thing, because when they silence the comedians, we get louder. Or stream it on demand for just $20.26, because that's a good number to think about. Meethook.live/not. It's going to be inspiring. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be deeply offensive to exactly the right people. Meethook.live/not.